Uh-oh. I don't have it. All right. Cool. All right, so here we are back, ready to try again. So if you caught last time, I had a number of issues getting the airplane airborne, throwing tires off of the airplane and such, and so went through and replaced all of the tires. I've also done a whole bunch of recalculations on the CG, and I've got marks here. I definitely had room to move it back. I've moved it back a touch, and then I'm gonna potentially incrementally move it back further if it feels that it could use it. I also upgraded the batteries to high voltage LiPos from SMC, and so the fans are pushing quite a bit more power now than they were before. And so that's only gonna help on the takeoff, and that's really what I'm looking for. I think we've got everything situated, ready to go. B-58 Hustler, it's been a long time getting here. And yeah, I'm excited to see what she's gonna do today. Yeah, let's do it. All right, here we go. All right, taking off. Needed quite a bit of up trim. Feeling fairly trimmed now. Man, it gets hard to see out there. It definitely moves at full throttle.
Yeah.
I've only been at about half for most of that. That was full throttle.
Feels like the wind's coming from the left now.
It does, yeah. All right, I'm gonna drop the gear, set up for landing. I'm gonna land right to left. Uh-oh. Hold on, I don't have it. I don't have it. I didn't have it. No, I was trying to turn right and it didn't. It kept going left, so I wonder if I lost a fan or something. It's on the other side of the fence too. I don't know how salvageable it's gonna be, but I was trying to bring it back. I was gonna drop the gear and I was turning right. I had full right in it and it wouldn't turn on me. That's how it happens sometimes, unfortunately. And yeah, either I lost fans, a fan, or something mechanical in the aileron, because I was, like I said, I was giving it full right and I started feeding in rudder and it started turning a little bit, but then I just couldn't keep the airspeed up. So it makes me wonder if I lost a fan or something. But all right, well, let's go get it. All right, well, as it turns out, it took us 2 days to find the model. We were surveilling with drones for a number of hours after it went in. We're just not able to find it. It went into a soybean field and the plants were like chest high. And so trying to find any kind of rash or anything on the plants was extremely difficult. A big thank you to my friend John Pryor and all of the guys at the airport, because they went out the next day and went the extra mile and ultimately did find the airframe. They were flying around in an ultralight and were able to spot it a bit further than we had originally anticipated, and then ultimately recover the airframe and get it back to me. Unfortunately, the model's a total write-off. Every structural component is pretty much broken within the airframe, and so trying to deal with fixing any of that, it'll just end up way heavier than it should. That being said, I was able to determine what happened, and so in the process of all of this, I was really concerned about the weight and keeping the model as light as I could. As a result, I selected speed controllers that had ample headroom, or so I thought. So what ended up happening is the ESCs got hot and they started shutting down one by one right near the end of the flight. And so I was getting asymmetric thrust from it, and so I was fighting that the whole time until ultimately they all just shut down, and that's when the model just kind of fell out of the sky. The only hope I would have had was if I pulled the throttle to idle and tried to glide it back, but when you see when the fans all quit, the airplane just kind of stopped in the air. So I'm not sure how well that would have worked out. I had full right rudder, full right aileron, and it still wouldn't turn on me, and so I was really fighting it hard, and that would have been a last-ditch effort had I thought about it. That being said, when I was testing the fans on the ground, I had plenty of headroom statically. When I checked the current draw, everything looked good, but what I didn't account for was the fact that the inlets had such a sharp radius to them that I don't think the fans were fully loaded when testing them statically. So as a result, as the airplane started flying and moving, the amperage went up higher than I was expecting it to, and as a result, the speed controllers couldn't handle the additional amperage. Also, I was at mostly half throttle for the entire flight, and partial throttle is what works these speed controllers the hardest, because they have to dissipate that extra power that's not being supplied to the fan somehow, and it gets dissipated as heat. And so it was just kind of the perfect storm there. It's a really, really tough lesson to learn, I'm not gonna lie. And for as long as I've been doing this, I should have known better, because it was completely avoidable had I used bigger speed controllers in the model. I do hope to revisit this airplane in the future. I'd really like to build another one, but I need a little space first. As cautious as we are, stuff happens, and so it's just the nature of the game. This hobby can be unforgiving at times, but it's all part of the risk, and I think that's all part of the excitement too. And so that being said, let me know what you guys would like to see built next. I'm really looking at doing a much simpler build next time. There was nothing easy about this build, but I hope you guys learned a lot in the process, because that was the whole goal, to show you all these techniques. I can't thank you enough for following along. I know when we come back build another one of these, it's gonna be even better. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. If you'd like to see the whole series on how we built this, everything that we did, you can see that here. Until next time, I'll see you at the field.